Hello, Internet.
Hello.
My name is Taliesin.
I'm Evitel.
And welcome to the podcast. A WoW podcast, obviously, episode number
43.
Do you know what? We're never doing this again. We are never dual streaming onto two platforms ever again. We used to do it, and we did it for like 3 months, and it was like such a stress every time. I was like, we're never doing that again. And then Evitel turned around last week, and she was like, we're going to have to start dual streaming on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. And I was like, let's not do that, because that was actually bullshit when we did that before. And she was like, I'll give you a blowy a day if you do.
Oh.
And I was like,
I'm not aware of these terms.
I don't want that. That's too tiring. Keep your mouth away from my bits. And so she did. And then that was the deal. And so we did it. And it was incredibly stressful all over again. So all of our regular listeners who listen to this podcast are like, I'm glad Tally's not so stressed every time the podcast starts now. Yeah. Well, unlucky, because we're doing this again, and I'm going to be incredibly stressed every time the podcast starts from now on. Restream does, in fact, suck. It's true. But welcome to the podcast. Hey, what we're going to do is, the live recording, we're going to delete all of that. Sorry, for the recording that we put on YouTube listening. YouTube, fuck my life. When we put it on podcast listening platforms.
Yes.
We're going to delete that bit at the beginning, and we'll just start now. Welcome to a WoW podcast, episode number
43.
What are we talking about today, Evitel?
Today we're talking about the big news. And the big news is, well, there's a bunch of news because it is PTR season. PTR season is in full swing. It is live, and we are PTR enjoyers in this house. So,
what does PTR mean?
We enjoy the
spoilers,
P and the T and the R.
It means new stuff. It means testing, and most of all, it means data mining.
Yes, data mining.
Gotta data mine them all, and that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about this week, because we've got all the stuff that's on the PTR, and we talked about some of that last week, but there's obviously been a lot more stuff since. Big spoilers, big story, big clarification on some important things like the deserter debuff for Mythic Plus and things like that.
Yes, yeah, we've definitely...
And loads of models and things to look at, which Evitel has collated into a handy internet-friendly list for us to have a look at. But before anything else, if there's anything that you would like to ask us about or for us to cover on this show, you know what to do. Whack it in the super chats if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, you just talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. We'll have to figure that out. But yes, if you have any questions, YouTube viewers, or any comments or anything you just really want to throw out there, drop us a super chat and we'll get to it at the end of the episode.
As always. Now, some of you might be wondering to yourselves, hey, we dropped a whole bunch of super chats last episode to get Evie to get Taliesin to dress in his cosplay. Finery, yeah, for this episode. And for those of you who are watching the video version of this podcast, you might have noticed that isn't the case. I'm just dressed in my sexy usual denim right now.
Yeah. You're like a slightly Canadian version of yourself right now.
Yeah, well, that's because my cosplay is coming. It's not cancelled or anything like that. I fully intend for it to happen, but it is so good and so detailed and so extra that it's taking more than a week to put together. You know me, guys. I don't do things by halves. Okay, well, except like I do things by halves. I do things entirely by the top half, because that's the only bit you ever see. So it's all about economy, really. And next week, once we've got all the end of month videos out and stuff like that, that's when it's going to be hitting. Oh yeah,
I can't wait. I also slacked a bit with my cosplay.
You took 2 weeks, which is what enabled me to take 2 weeks.
Exactly.
If you'd been more on it and you'd done it in a week, I'd be here right now in my cosplay.
You're absolutely right. So that's the plan. Look forward to that next podcast. But for this one, we are diving into the juicy stuff of the PTR.
Oh, I can't wait.
The private.
I love the PTR data mining season.
Trying to think of nice words that start with P. Don't say anything. The nice adjectives. The private, the pretty, the powerful test realm. I can't.
Okay,
Oh man,
it is pretty. It feels pretty private sometimes. It's certainly not powerful. Okay, that PTR is the most unstable PTR I've been on in a long, long time. And it's been unstable
the pissy,
for like a week and a
pissy
half.
Trustrom, yeah.
It's very pissy, exactly. And the PTR pissiness, and this isn't even a joke, has absolutely carried through into the main retail game at the moment as well. My game is so unstable right now.
Have you been buggy?
Yeah, I've been buggy. I've been buggier than Koresh on Starship Troopers movie night.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
in the magnetic storm. Like, it's been so buggy. It kicks me out of the game. Okay.
Oh no.
It doesn't. It like reloads my game automatically every now and then.
On the PTR, yes.
No, not on the PTR. On
in the
retail,
game.
like everything will stop and it'll be like I've pressed reload and it will kind of like, come back in.
Are you sure that's not a you problem?
I mean, it is a problem for me, that's for sure, but I don't think it's anything I'm doing. And is anyone else getting that in the chat? Is anyone else getting because I don't know if it's like an add-on thing or if it's kind of happening to everyone at the moment, but basically it means I can't do any like high-level content. I can't go into a dungeon and, have it so that it might just, take me out of the game for 3 seconds or whatever, even if it's only that long, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Did you experience some weird phasing issues after leaving Delves as well? Yes. All of this. So yeah, lots of people have been getting this. This is a reported problem. And it seems to happen, even worse, it seems to happen when there's loads of stuff happening.
Okay.
And the game kind of just goes, no. And then reloads, So, and ironically, that's when you really don't want it to reload if you're doing like a Mythic Plus dungeon or a raid or something like that. So that's when you're like, please don't make me reload right now. No. So news-wise, we have had an announcement that officially Midnight will be revealed at Gamescom 2025. Now,
yes.
That's why I insisted that we started this podcast sitting down, Evertel, because the shock was way too much. When I learned that they were going to be officially revealing Midnight at Gamescom, I shat with shock and surprise. I was like,
Listen, I love nothing more than an announcement for an announcement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not even an announcement. No. It's not even an announcement. There was already an announcement, and now we're getting there's a pre-announcement, and now there's the announcement that there will be an announcement. So,
yeah, it's kind of like, so the original announcement was at BlizzCon when they were like, yo, Midnight is happening, right?
Yeah.
So that was like the proper reveal, but then it was like, we've just had an announcement that there will be a further announcement further from the BlizzCon announcement, and that announcement will be at Gamescom.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I can't wait. Now, honestly, I am getting pretty hyped for this. Last Gamescom, it started just before the launch of The War Within, so it was a slightly different spot on the timeline. It was more kind of a celebration. They had the really, frankly, amazing Datamined ride. That? Of course I do.
Say that again, because I was speaking over you. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
What did they have?
They had the Datamined ride.
It was amazing.
On which I wore my finest leather pants.
And of which I never downloaded my video of.
No!
They gave you, so you went on there and you get on a dragon and you're wearing a VR headset and it moves around, and dear God, it was so good because all your favorite characters talk to you and you're going through Dalaran and swooping through Dalaran, and as a WoW fan, it's like the best thing that could ever possibly happen.
It was actually really
so
powerful.
Real.
And we got to
it was
chat.
So great. And then at the very end, you're like, ooh, you go down to Ashgahet and you're like, whoa, and you fly around and there's all the bugs and stuff. And then at the very end, a big Xalatath comes along. It's like, oh, hi.
Yeah. I mean big. She's big.
She was as big as.
It's like that image of her kind of up behind everyone with her big spooky hands.
Like perfect stepping on me size. And if I had died in that moment, I would have died happy. It would have been fantastic. But I didn't die, thankfully. And then they were like, yo, here you go to this website and get your download of it. And it's a video of you you and what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. You've got yours.
I do. I have mine, actually.
I never downloaded mine, and it's
mine
a big regret of mine.
Because it is so good. Yeah,
and we got to talk to the guys that made the machines as well.
Which was super cool, actually.
Yeah.
They were really brilliant. They talked us through the whole process. They were really like forthcoming and really happy to chat about it, and also really excited to see our reactions.
Yeah, and clearly very proud of their work, as they should have been.
Yeah.
Because it was banging. So I wouldn't be surprised. So here's the thing. Okay, what are we expecting from WoW at Gamescom? What's going to happen, Evie?
So, just for funsies, I went back and I rewatched bits of the 2024 Gamescom opening night live.
Oh, research!
Yeah, which they call ONL. And Johanna Ferris was there. She kind of introduced all the stuff. She was there just kind of hyping up War Within and other Blizz games, whatever those. But I expect this time around, opening night, there will be a proper midnight drop, a cinematic drop, an announcement. Something is going to happen on opening night.
What kind of length are we looking at for sort of reveals and trailers usually in the opening ceremony of other games?
Some of them are pretty substantial.
Yeah.
So there was like a Call of Duty one that was very long. And, you know, they did some Diablo stuff. They did the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 trailer there, which was substantial. And they did a whole series of first looks at gameplay, announcements. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a proper BlizzCon level drop.
So is it unusual for there to be like a trailer and then maybe like a features trailer and maybe a dev out on stage kind of saying something and talking about it?
Yeah, there are a couple of devs coming up
That's
as
what
well.
I would associate with like a proper expansion reveal for WoW, right?
I think so, yeah. So there are a couple of hosts. There's your kind of standard Jeff Keighley, who's just
The standard Jeff
the man,
Keighley.
the Games Awards internet man, who hosts literally everything. I love how he got himself that job. He was like, I'm just going to host.
I'm going to be the host man.
I am just the game host man. And everyone's like, yeah. Although they come out on stage and he's like, hello, game. Oh, he's like, hello, Gamescom. And everyone's like, yeah.
Hello.
Like, no, the energy is cool. And all the music's like pumping and everyone's like very polite sitting in their seats.
It's so Euro.
And it is so Euro. I love it. Obviously, it's not the same level as BlizzCon. It's not going to be the same experience as being in a room with, what was it, like 15,000 people in the hall plus everyone
and 40,000
else
dotted around the rest of the building. Yeah.
So it's a much more. I foresee that would happen. It'll be a bit of a different experience because only a small fraction of the people are going to be there for WoW. But I feel like it's, given that there's no BlizzCon this year, it is the only kind of in-person event to make this happen.
So to be clear, you are expecting the midnight announcement in the opening ceremony.
I am.
That's good enough for me.
I foresee it. It feels right, even though it feels a little different. It's not what we're used to. You know, again, lack of BlizzCon. I still feel it. But it is kind of the only place they can do it, and it's going to happen. And, you know, we know an announcement. We know something is coming.
Yeah.
We know a few things are coming at Gamescom. We know there's going to be some kind of WoW presence there, some kind of Blizzard WoW presence. We know there's going to be some kind of PvP about esports.
Cool.
Something is happening there.
Well, that should definitely kind of give us a hint as to when they're planning to drop the 11.2 patch as well then in that case.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing esports at Gamescom, a lot of those esports people are also in Race to World first teams, obviously.
Yes,
you know, it simply cannot clash with that. Which means I actually think that 11.2 is going to be released early at this stage. I feel like it has to.
Ooh,
it has to release early.
Yeah.
It has to be at the very beginning of August. Like, I'm talking maybe 2 weeks early.
Wow.
Because Race to World First has to be done and dusted if they want PvPers to be in Gamescom.
So here's what they've got. A literal blue post from Blizzard. 5 days of non-stop...
Can I put your screen on?
Yes. There we go. 5 days of non-stop community action.
Yeah.
Celebration. So get ready for a Mythic Dungeon and Arena showcase.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cosplay showcase, developer and creator meet and greets, and much more. They say during the show you'll get exclusive news and updates on the next chapter of midnight directly from the dev team, along with a few additional surprises we have in store.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, and here's the thing, like, if they release it 8 weeks after the release of the patch we've just had, that's going to give them 1 week to do Race to World first and get everyone down there for Gamescom, which is unfeasible. It's not going to happen because, Race to World first is probably going to take longer than 1 week. It usually does.
Yes.
And if they have Race to World first, like, if they have the raid drop the week after Gamescom, well, that's no good either because those guys need to be grinding and getting ready for like that before that. So it has to be before. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be like 3 or 4 weeks later than it should have been.
It's funny timing, isn't it?
I look at 11.1.7 and it's a fun little patch, but it's not a big patch compared to other 0.7s we've had, and it is a bit teeny tiny. And 0.5 was, once all the content was out, was a bit bigger than we usually have. So I'm thinking that I'm thinking it's going to be early August.
Okay.
And the community has kind of decided that as well. By the way, the community has come to the same kind of mathematics as me. And they've decided that it is. They've done that thing that the WoW community does. Like, the WoW community has decided that it's going to be early August, and in our heads now, that's what Blizzard have officially said. Because we've all decided it probably will be early August. Now, a whole bunch of people think that Blizzard have literally just said it's early August. That's always what happens. It's like, well, it must be early August. Blizz said it. Yeah. It's like, did they? Hang on. Just to be clear, no, Blizzard haven't said it's early August. But, I mean, it's got to be, right? And I've seen a bunch of people connected to Race to World First teams predicting an early August release date for it, all pretty much at the same time on social media. So I feel like they might have had a heads up.
Okay.
You know
what? You're probably right.
Yeah, on that. Like a whole bunch of people that I follow who are either directly connected or tangentially connected to Race to World First, all came out and went, I think I'm going to make a prediction. And they all did it kind of on the same day or like a couple of days from each other. So I'm thinking, I think that might be it as well. So, so I think it's going to be a pretty short patch, like 6 weeks instead of 8. That would be. And get all that shit out of the way. The raid is out. The ending to the raid is out. Everything is set up for a proper midnight reveal. And you don't have that you don't have the thing like you had with the Shadowlands reveal where Ian has to quite sheepishly be on stage and be like, "Well, we know you're all getting ready to fight N'Zoth, but assuming that goes well, here's a look at what's coming next." Yeah, which would be really good too.
Yeah.
That's what I think we can glean for 11.2 from this. So you predict that there's going to be an announcement in the opening ceremony.
I feel like there has to be.
Can you go into detail of what you expect? And we don't know, to be very clear. We don't have insider information on this. We're just using our big, magnificent, high IQ brains here. This is why both of us, it has been noted, it has been remarked upon, people are saying that we both have quite prominent foreheads. Who
said that?
Many people have said it. It has been said. We've said it ourselves.
In life, generally.
Just in life.
Yeah, people tend to be like,
we've got big shiny foreheads. It's one of the things that prompted people when we first started this channel to speculate that we might be siblings.
Yeah. They're like, look at those massive pat.
Yeah, that is some shared forehead. That is some genetics shared. If ever I saw them in the early days of the channel, people used to speculate, are they together? Are they brother and sister? What's happening here? Please to confirm that we are married with children, but that doesn't mean we're not.
That doesn't mean we're not siblings.
No, exactly. With our huge, that's because of our huge brains, is what I'm saying, is because we have massive IQs. It's well known. I've never done an IQ test. I'm just pretty sure, it just stands to reason I must have a massive IQ, right? Because I got so many predictions for BFA correct. So it's how it works.
That's how it,
exactly. I've forgotten where we're going with this. Anyway, no, we're just working off the details. So what kind of presents do you think WoW will have?
Okay, so what kind of presents will they have actually there?
That's what I asked you. You can't just turn it around.
Sorry,
you can't reverse Uno me. No.
In terms of an actual presence, let's go off of what we had last year. Last year, there was a
Last year was huge for WoW at Gamescom.
Last year, they built Dalaran.
Yeah.
Now I know why they destroyed Dalaran. They needed the resources
we're never doing
to
this again,
build
mate.
Dalaran in Cologne, in the hall. They literally built a little model of Dalaran.
It was brilliant. It even had like an upper floor that you could stream
for the
from
streamers.
and stuff.
That was
so
great. So there was that, and that mostly housed. There was some PCs that you could play some stuff on, and it also housed the very exciting, like thrilling ride through Dalaran thing, and of course cosplayers.
Obviously, a huge queue for that all the time.
Massive queue.
It's a thing you can do at Gamescom, which is quite rare.
Yeah. Cosplay, people hanging out. And I know this was also kind of like next to the Xbox stage, which is where we held our podcast, which is really exciting.
Really
Did our
good.
live podcast
Thanks
there.
again forever.
Yeah.
Until I die for
Seriously.
everyone that came to watch
For
that.
everyone who
God,
showed
thank
up.
God.
Yeah, was an absolute treat. And I think you even like slagged off Mike Ybarra live.
I did.
You did.
I made like
and
a
was
Predator joke about
Yeah,
Mike
you would-
Ybarra or
you-
something,
you-
and literally the
And I was
audience
like-
went, ooh. And then I looked at our little Blizz handler at the
like,
side,
yeah,
and he
I
was like
like-
looking down at his phone like this. I was like, no, we're not getting
And I was
invited
like,
back.
oh,
But guess what? We
Jesus.
did get invited
Well,
back.
maybe.
And you were worried afterwards. You were like,
I was
we're not going to get invited
furious.
back, Tally. And I was like, give a shit,
I was
man.
like,
I
Tally,
play by my own
Tally. I was like,
rules.
Tally, this isn't just like BlizzCon. This is the Xbox stage. You're literally standing on the branded
No,
Xbox
it wasn't
stage.
Mike Ybarra that I slagged off. It was Alex Afrasiabi.
I
I made a
probably did
Predator
both.
joke about Alex Afrasiabi.
but then you also were maybe a bit rude about.
I would
our
never slag
Xbox
Mike Ybarra
overlords.
off. He's one of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. Like he boosts me through all my mythic raids. What are you talking about? Only cost me 50,000 gold a pop. He's a
Gonna say
legend.
dollars.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
So that's what they had last year. Now, I think the relationship between Blizz and kind of Xbox is still being ironed out. So I have no idea what is actually going to be happening physically. But if I had to guess, I would say, based on what's here, I think there's going to be an actual dedicated WoW stage.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, where else are you going to do like this Mythic Dungeon Arena showcase, cosplay showcase,
Yeah, you might be
meet and
right.
greets? So,
I hadn't even thought about that. You're so clever.
yeah, thank you.
Well, your
It's the
forehead
big-
is bigger than
it's
mine,
the big-
so,
it's well, yeah, it is actually. So, and we didn't have dev meet and greets, did we? We did some interviews at Gamescom last year, but it was up in the press section or down in the press section, wherever it was,
so long
in the
to
press
find it.
basement, which they were literally taking apart as we were going in to do our interview with Ian. And I remember asking at the desk, I'm like, oh, we're here for the interview. She's like, I don't know. What interview? And so then we just walked into her room and he was just there. Anyway, that was fun. This time, it looks like they need a dedicated space for dev meet and greets, cosplay showcases. They're probably taking some learnings that they've had from the anniversary events that they've done globally.
Yeah, true.
No doubt. They're taking some learning that they've done from those events and kind of integrating it with what they know about BlizzCon, what they know about Gamescom. And it sounds like they're coming up with an event that isn't just there for people who are wandering around Gamescom and might want to have a peek. Like it sounds like it's for WoW fans, and it sounds like it's an opportunity for WoW people to like purposefully go to Cologne and experience this.
So, are you saying you think it's going to be an even bigger thing than last year for WoW?
Absolutely. I think it's
Wow.
going to be much bigger. Again, I think because Blizz Xbox, love affair, it's going to be I think it's going to be a little bit different, and based on what they're describing here, and who knows what these additional surprises are, based on the fact that they're actually announcing this. I don't remember last year. I don't remember a blue post being like, hey, everyone, come to Gamescom for some amazing stuff.
It's true.
It was more like some people came along and we got to experience some things.
Yeah.
This time, it's like, hey, check it out.
They are officially like lighting the beacons.
They are. They're
for
like
WoW fans from all
5
over
days.
to come on in.
Yeah, so it sounds like there is going to be a program over the 5
So
days,
excited.
actually. So not just like the
I'm bringing a deck chair and
Right?
I'm setting up camp at the Blizz stand.
Right,
It's gonna be amazing.
so
Are you kidding?
it actually does sound like it's going to be like a mini BlizzCon. It's going to be a little event within an event.
Caveat: we are only talking about WoW right now. We are not talking about other Blizz games. Maybe there'll be other stuff for them, but I don't know. Don't really care if I'm completely honest. And for me personally,
knows?
I care about you guys. If you care about other Blizz
course.
games, I hope you get everything that your heart desires. But I'm just talking about it in terms of WoW.
Yeah. So, what time Gamescom the kind of WoW stream will go live? People are wondering when the announcement is.
Well,
I think
the opening ceremony is
ceremonies-
3 hours long, right? So it
Yeah.
could be at any time during
Is
that.
it in the evening? I don't remember when last year was, because again, we didn't go to the opening ceremony. We just rucked up and showed up at a WoW booth. But now I think, we will probably aim to go there for that, because it sounds like something is
Yeah, are
happening.
you kidding? The booth was so much fun. We got a stream slot last time.
Yes.
We had multiple stream slots. We only used one in the end, but
Yeah.
and it was fantastic, and it was a great time. We met loads and loads of people, and we did our podcast live. This year we're doing that again on the Saturday, and we are thinking we probably
Possibly.
won't do the podcast this time. We are thinking that we'll probably do a live taping of the weekly reset and a meet and greet straight afterwards as well.
How cool would that be?
So if you are in Gamescom and you want to come along on the Saturday and watch the weekly reset live, something that we've only ever done twice before, both times at
And they
BlizzCon,
were so
in a
good.
room that we rented ourselves and we had
Yep.
full control over.
Yes.
If you want to come along and watch us jump onto a stage for an hour and a half and try and basically wing it with a script that I finished probably about an hour before, and I'm sure it's going to work splendidly. I don't see anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, we might have to get some people to help us with production on that one.
Yeah, but if you fancy coming along for the audience of that, dear God, please come.
Yeah.
Please come. Can you imagine? It's one thing. Well, we didn't have to do a podcast without an audience. We had a great audience in the end.
We did.
But it's one thing if you do a podcast without an audience there, but doing the weekly reset just wouldn't work. It wouldn't be fun.
No,
it would be the most
fine.
humiliating experience of my life.
It would be fine,
and I've
because I'd
had
be
some.
like, what are these loons just filming in that corner? They're just making some TikTok videos or something,
sure,
right?
sure,
And
yeah.
people would be like, all right, just leave them be. So that is the plan. That sounds like there's going to be some big things happening at Gamescom this year. Again, lack of BlizzCon. Lack of other spaces to really, really pump up a midnight announcement.
Yeah, they are. So I think it is going to do a lot of heavy lifting. Now, one of my favorite things about the announcement is the kind of the tweet that Blizz put out
Yes.
about it. And I used the background from that tweet in the thumbnail for the podcast you're
you
watching
did, yeah.
right now.
Is it this?
Allow me to...
Is it this thing?
Yeah, here we are. This is my Photoshop
Okay.
with...
That's beautiful.
With the background in. So let me
Look at all
remove
those
these
layers.
elements, okay? Because, when you've got the kind of speculation brain that I've got,
Yeah.
this is the kind of thing you do. So let me just show you the background. I'll take away the writing here.
Yeah.
Take away this and this and this. And this is the background.
Oh.
And when you're me, what you do is you go... Oops, you pressed the wrong button. You delete it.
You just delete
sorry,
it.
I'm on the wrong mouse
when
profile.
you're me.
Hang on. Let's go to my Premiere mouse profile.
nice,
There we go.
nice.
When you're me, you go, let's whack up the brightness like
Okay.
this.
Are we
let's
doing
whack up the
some image
contrast.
forensics?
Yeah,
This is
and
exciting.
we do proper image forensics, okay? And this is what we do. This is how we roll, okay? Because this background that they have chosen to use is obviously a midnight art asset.
Yeah.
And, we go, okay, well, what can we see here? Because there are shapes in this, right?
Yeah, what can we see?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked. Well, I don't know myself, actually. We're going to have a look. But let's blow this right up.
Okay.
Like this. And let's go here. Zoom the F in.
Okay.
Like this.
Uh-huh.
And let's see if we can see anything good.
Wow, we're
because
really going deep.
There we are.
Oh, wait.
And you got this big star thing,
Yeah.
right, happening here, which
Okay.
is computer enhanced. Which I don't know. What are we thinking? Is that Is that the star from the Argus portal? Is that Illidan and Sargeras coming back? Is that the star that is currently in the sky? Or is it the star that's in the middle of Dimensius in the models that we've seen? Is that something...
Right, that thing.
Oh, is it going to like open a huge rift in space that all the void are going to come through? Or is it something else? What could it be? And then these smoky bits are just like, so look at this.
What?
Look at these things. There's something going on here which we can't see. What's this thing here? This lit up bit here. And like almost kind of like faces up here. Okay, so actually...
Are we looking for like cloud animals in here?
No, actually, like this.
Yeah.
This is very interesting to me. Do you think that looks like a skull? Does that look like a skull to you?
It could maybe look like a skull. Oh! I can see it. Do you see
the skull? Do you see the skull?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've got the Dimensius model, Datamined model to hand, but Dimensius is like a big void lord. But swirling around the bottom of the Dimensius model are lots of skulls, purple skulls, just like we are looking at on the screen right now.
Yeah.
So I think. Based on basically no evidence, but my own massive brain, I think what's going to happen is we're going to defeat Dimensius at the end of the raid, but that will open up a huge rift in space. We know that Dimensius getting reformed is already opening void rifts around Koresh, that big void meteorites are coming through.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I think when we defeat him, he will kind of explode and open up this huge rift that's in the middle of him there, and that's going to be where all the void come through. And I think that will be kind of like, the Shadowlands skybox and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a new thing that we see in the skybox.
Oh.
From wherever we are.
Just a massive rift.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like Argus in the sky. I think it's going to be like boom, and we'll see it from Stormwind and shit, and that will be like we're going to be, and then
that's how we know it's real.
Point 2.5 and 2.7 will be like, something's about to come through that. This is very scary, and I think that would be awesome. Are you kidding?
I mean,
it's going to be brilliant.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool. Now you've got me looking deep into these clouds, like all the swirlies.
There's tons of shit in these clouds. Look.
I know I probably shouldn't be reading into this at all.
Are you kidding?
I am.
What kind of YouTubers are we if we don't read into this? Like, we have no credibility if we don't read any old shit into this.
What are the kind of like the kind of just the stringy?
Yeah, the stringy things.
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't know, but I'd love to hear.
Void gloop.
But for me, the excitement, like, it's that skull. What I've decided is a skull. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think Dimensius is going to die. We'll kill him, obviously, with a little help from our friends. And I think that big star in the middle of him will like erupt open and tear a rift into the void realm itself. And that's it. And I think it will appear in the skybox.
I like this.
It's like a skybox thing to me. That's what I'm saying. I just think there are devs watching this podcast right now going, oh, fuck you, Tally. That's not what's going to happen, but you're setting expectations not for the first time.
No, I feel like that's
way
kind of your
too
job.
high, you dick. Cancel that guy's ticket. Like, that's just what I suspect might happen.
I do, and I also like that you've dug really deep into this and how in the Gamescom announcement, they've literally just plonked the Warcraft logo on top of it.
Yes,
Sorry,
exactly. That's the thing.
Like,
so in the Gamescom announcement, that is actually hidden by the mid. So we are revealing things to you on this podcast right here. That's what we're doing, right? So you're welcome. Don't worry about it.
Wow. Okay.
So
big hopes and dreams for Gamescom then. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it is coming the time when we might have to start thinking about making our YouTube midnight predictions videos. Okay. So can I get maybe a little taster? What are you expecting from midnight? What any features that you think like it might happen? What zones do you think it'd be based around?
Oh God!
Like, yeah,
this is a big question. I mean,
I did just dump that on you.
There is. There has to be a Silver Moon revamp, right?
It has to be, right?
There has to be. That feels like a given. Like Silver Moon revamp. As a kind of site of where the stuff's going to be happening. Other bits of the old world being revamped as well would be nice. We're going to Northrend, right? Spending some time.
In last time.
No, okay, no, okay. So maybe not in midnight. Gosh, I don't know. What do you think's going to happen?
What do you think about the new Demon Hunter spec? because we talked about this last episode, but people haven't had a chance to play the PTR now properly and kind of go through it and play the quest that sets up the boss in the raid and stuff like that. So we've all seen that. Has that tipped you further into thinking that there will be a new Demon Hunter spec?
It has tipped me towards believing that Void Elves can be Demon Hunters. Or will
I think that's where
demon.
the smart money is.
Yeah, I think Void Elves can become Demon Hunters, and maybe Nightborn for fun, just for balance, just for symmetry.
The same rig as night elves. Void elves are literally just blood elves.
They are just blood elves.
So it would be very easy to fit all like the armor and stuff on them, and you wouldn't have to change anything really. I guess Nightborn would be a bit more problematic, and other races just. But I think at the very least we're looking at Void elves becoming demon hunters, possibly.
That's what that quest line suggests to me.
To me, that's what it suggests as well.
Because,
rather than the third demon hunter.
Because the guy, the demon hunter guy who is receiving this void knowledge, we just murder him, don't we? He's like an aberration. Well, I think so.
No, because he's the boss in the raid, right?
Yeah.
And he's got 2 new friends. And one of the things people are like, no, Tally, you're wrong. It's going to be a third spec because...
Okay, sell me on this.
It's a council fight. And one of the demon hunters in the council fight is, explicitly a vengeance demon hunter who only uses vengeance demon hunter abilities.
Yeah.
One of them is explicitly a havoc demon hunter who only uses havoc demon hunter abilities. And then you've got the void demon hunter as well, who uses like his own stuff. So therefore, they are showing us that there are now 3 different specs, right? Does that sway you?
I like that.
I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't sway me, and people get really annoyed that it doesn't sway me.
No, I like the suggestion. I think it would be a really fun way to deliver Void Demon Hunters to people. I think that would be really cool. I mean, it also could just be a way of telling a story about a demon hunter who gets some void powers who we then crush under our feet. Like, I don't know.
Everyone's fun.
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm not.
Listen, I agree with you. I agree with you. For me, this would appear to be setting up void elves being demon hunters, but not a third spec. I'm happy to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm placing no like pride or ego or like reputation on whether I'm right or not on this. But for me, it's just not adding up really. But I think there is one genuinely compelling piece of evidence that points to there being a demon hunter third spec, which I mentioned on the weekly reset, but which I still feel quite strongly.
Okay.
Like, it's not anything that's in the game, because there's not much evidence in the game.
Okay.
The thing that is actually genuinely, if anything was to sway me into believing this was going to be a thing, it would be how enthusiastically, quickly, and vehemently other outlets like Wowhead and Bellular came out and speculated that it was going to be happening. Within minutes of the announcement happening and us getting like one shot of the 3 demon hunters and one of them being void, within minutes of that, before they'd done pretty much anything else, Wowhead put out an article speculating that there's going to be a 3rd demon hunter spec.
Okay.
Which just seems like a very, very quick turnover on that. I know that they'd seen, like Mr. GM and other people who are doing interviews and stuff, they'd seen that part of the present. They'd seen like that part of the presentation before, so they'd had time to prepare the article and everything. But it's so funny to me that like so many outlets on seemingly, in my opinion, so little evidence decided to go with that before pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
And that, for me, genuinely, with my kind of paranoid creator head on, where I have massive FOMO and I think other like creators are getting way more access than we do all the time about everything.
So
I sit there and I go, what do they know that I don't? What like inside information have they had that I don't? What have they datamined that they're not allowed to show that like has convinced them this? Because it sure fuck isn't the actual evidence that the rest of us have seen.
I love how you're paranoid, despite being like literally one of the first people in the world to play player housing. Like, you literally flew to the other side of the world.
Yeah, but what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. I was like, well, that was a month ago. That was like a month ago. But I was like, yeah. Okay. I mean, I think there might be something to that. I think that's also just like the WoW news hype cycle. Like, I think that might just be that.
I don't know.
What about just it?
I literally see that as the strongest evidence. I'm not even joking. I'm like, well, hang on. I don't think there's
Someone
much evidence there, but Wowhead
someone
and Bella
knows
all
something.
over this shit. What do
they're
they
just
know?
sowing the seeds of discord. They're like,
They're just agents of chaos.
Yeah, exactly. I think it might be more of like the green fire quest where you get it basically as like a customization.
Well, I think it's
option.
more than that. I think it is going to actually like allow demon hunters, void elf demon hunters, and
that too.
That would be
I think
great.
so. I
But
think
yes,
so.
I also there are Draenei should be demon hunters. Fits perfectly with the lore. Like makes no sense that Draenei can't be demon hunters. They would be so sexy as demon hunters as well. Can you imagine? They'd be so good. Oh god. Who else? Pandas should be demon hunters just for the lols.
Why not?
And
They'd
yeah,
be
exactly. And
so
can you
cute.
imagine like a Draenei demon hunter with Eridar customizations?
Okay, yeah.
Oh god, it was so good.
Really good.
Oh,
really
man,
good.
okay,
They
look, I'm
already
all
have
over it.
horns, so it's all good.
And like if you're going to have void elves, I think you should have Nightborn as well at the very least, just so we're not having even more alliance bias here. Just so much alliance bias. I can't bear it. On the PTR where you talk to like Locust Walker and Ilaria, and they're like, okay, let's go to Koresh. Come with me. And
Has my mic gone, or is it doing something?
are we
Or
crackling?
is it hot?
Be we crackling? Bias here.
Crackling? Am I
Just,
making
so
sound?
much alliance bias. I can't bear it. On the PTR where you talk to like Locust Walker and Ilaria, and they're like, okay, I guess I will. Okay, we're peeking crackling. I'm just gonna. How are we sounding now?
How's that? Is it going wacky?
It does look like you might have a bit of background noise on your mic there.
Oh, better,
Okay,
way better.
Okay, well that'll do then.
Okay,
Sorry about that,
that'll
and
do,
sorry to
Pig.
everyone listening to the podcast
Sorry,
on
guys.
your ears because that was
Okay.
probably no fun at all.
Sorry.
About that. Yeah. Okay. There we go. And so
classic
and
podcast
like
issue.
yeah, exactly. Bullshit. And like they're like, okay, we're going to take you to Koresh. And come through the portal, and they put the portal on the Alliance side, next to the Stormwind portal.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's like you've got this lonely Orgrimmar portal on the other side with nothing else next to it at all.
Wah, wah. So I logged in and I was I did a little bit of leveling on my arcane mage, which was fun. And I have a void elf, and she looks like Xalatath, and she's pretty cute. She's pretty good. And I was like, you know what? I think the time has come. I'm gonna race change this one to a Nightborn because I really want to play a Nightborn. And I was like, man, I don't want to go to Orgrimmar ever again in my life.
Oh, shit, that is quite the fucking statement.
No,
What?
That's a lie. I love sieging Orgrimmar. I love going in and I love doing the like horrific visions in Orgrimmar. No, but and I was like, I'm not ready to have like a horde centric character quite yet. Well, maybe I am, because there's a lot of diversity in the horde, and I know I am missing out. I'm sorry, horde. Sorry.
Yeah, we've got a problem with Effie's mic again. Sorry, everyone. I think we'll have to call the podcast because we can't carry on podcasting like this. Sorry. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the super chats that came through.
Yes, please.
We got Charlie Cole. Turn this mic off and come and join me on this mic over here, Evie. We'll just have to double mic it. We're like the Beatles.
Like the
We're
good
like
old
John
days.
and Paul, okay?
Just like the good old
Yeah,
days.
exactly. When are you going to get guests on the podcast again, says
Ooh.
Charlie Cole.
That's a nice question.
I don't know. Well, I was all about like, let's get guests on the podcast every single episode. And people didn't seem to like it really. And you didn't seem to like it either. And every time I suggested a new guest, you're like, not them, I fucking hate them.
Yeah,
So
there's
I don't
that.
know, man. Yeah. Woo.
Also, we could do it. It's just a bit of scheduling. It's just a bit of
Yeah, I know. And can you
technical
imagine?
coordination.
Can you imagine if we had like someone else on this podcast and we were having all this
Right
shit
now?
going on
I
right
know,
now?
I
It'd be
know.
the worst. So I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things things where maybe not. We've got a guest on the Weekly Reset coming up, though.
We have an absolutely thrilling guest coming up on the Weekly Reset, which I cannot wait for you guys to see when it happens.
Yeah,
because it's absolutely made my day.
Nomi, thank you for the super chat as well.
Cheers,
and
Nomi.
Fellmaster, with Midnight Reveal incoming, you think we're getting a new class or race this time? I think we are in line for a new class. Mm-hmm. That's where we are in like the setup and the schedule of these things. Mm-hmm. But I can't see it happening. I think they'll probably save the new class for Midnight for Last Titan, and I think we'll be looking at a new race at the very most.
What's our not even in Midnight?
I don't know.
No race or class in Midnight?
I don't know what to tell you, man. I would like to think there would be a new class, but I'm going to make a video speculating what new class it could be. That's for sure, because those are bankers, right? Yeah. But I don't even, So do you think
it's just going to be like Haranir coming in the Last Titan and that's it?
Yeah, maybe. No, I think there might be a new class in Last Titan as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haranir related.
We need the game is crying out for a new elf race and a new dwarf race, so hopefully one of those.
Okay, I thought you were serious for a second. I love elves, so I'll happily have like.
So we are making a video on this, but the obvious one, the one that you could always fit into any expansion with no explanation needed, would be Tinker. We've made videos on Tinker before. BFA seemed like it was going to happen. It didn't. The problem is, like, they always want the new class to really fit in thematically with whatever the expansion is.
It doesn't feel like it's going to fit into...
No, I think a voidy Demon Hunter spec might be as much as we get. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like thematic. Mm-hmm. But with the Tinker thing, you can always just chuck that in. And like it's annoying that it doesn't... You're never going to have a Tinker expansion, right? But it's annoying that it's never really going to fit in thematically with an expansion, because it's... Of all of the kind of new class options and choices that you might have... it's the one that is the easiest to make into a playable class with different specs and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's a no-brainer. It's so easy to do. Yeah. So it's kind of annoying and weird that it might never happen. And
like the other,
and another one that people talk about all the time is Bard at the moment. Well, there was that fake survey that came out a little while ago.
Oh no, was it fake?
Oh, it was so fake. It was the fakest thing I've ever seen. But it did have a couple of good ideas in it. You know, it doesn't mean it's not without worth just because it's incredibly fake. Mm-hmm. And one of those great ideas was the Bard class using the Radiant Song as its like bardy power.
What? That's so cool.
It's so elegant. It's so great, right?
Please give me a Bard.
And it's so elegant because it's like thematic to the World Soul Saga. Mm-hmm. It ticks that box. It also, unlike Evoker, for example, really explains why, you know, we haven't had bards in the Warcraft universe before, because it's like directly connected to the Radiant Song. So it doesn't have to do that thing of going, why there's been no mention of evokers or bards at any point? And evokers, you're like, oh, because they're in prison for a million years. Yeah. Whereas with bards, you could just go, it's literally a new thing. Yeah. Like another bonus of bards would be that, for me at least, it could be another class that uses bows and guns. Because I think it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have another class using bows and guns.
Yes, it has to be like a range.
Even if it was just like a mid-range range, like Evoker or something like that. Yeah. Obviously, you could have like a support style spec with it as well. That's what a lot of people expect from bards.
Support and like a pure DPS.
But you could obviously have a DPS as well. DPS. You could have a healer as well. Yeah. So it would make a lot of sense.
And just think of all like the bard transmogs.
You could feasibly have a melee as well.
Imagine all of the bard tier sets. Just think of how beautiful they would be. I know. I'm just thinking of the transmogs. Yeah. But I love the idea of Bard, and I feel like the Radiant Song is like such an elegant solution that's really kind of gotten in my head now, and now I want it. Damn it, now it's not going to happen. Yeah, exactly. Why would you do that?
Sorry. I hope that answers your question, Fellmaster. Chris, good morning. Wanted to say thank you for all you do. Renewed our sub for the next 6 months.
Oh,
and can't wait to see all the adventures you'll get up to. Cheers. Exciting.
So exciting.
Thank you for being here. And Blutblot came back recently with a few friends as a casual player and having a blast. Thanks for your coverage. WoW is in such a good place at the right.
It is in a great place right now. I have to say, even just picking up an alt and being like, I remember, you know, a year ago, a couple years ago, even a few months ago, picking up an alt after leaving it for a while and like trying to navigate where to go, trying to figure out which quest line to pick up. Like, it was such a ball ache, and it really, really put me off because I would kind of like come back to characters I haven't touched in a few years, and I had no idea what to do with them. I didn't know where to go. I have to say, right now, just jumping in, it's like, you want to go to Dornicle? Yeah, okay. Here's the stuff you do. Great. Don't do any of the stuff you don't want it.
Oh, so is it in a better place than it was in Dragonflight? Then that kind of experience.
I agree. I think
cool.
I feel like it's in such a good place for like new players, also returning players. It feels good. I didn't have that extreme anxiety of like, what next? What now?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, great. Good morning from the US. Hope you all have a lovely day and stay your wonderful selves. Thank you, I Sell Cabbages. Always nice to see you
Hope
here.
You're having
Thank you.
Good cabbage sales today.
Jolsey Mills 100% convinced me to attend Gamescom. I'm not even joking. You should.
Oh, but yes, definitely.
Like this is like the biggest. Gamescom is going to be the biggest WoW event of the year,
the next year,
until BlizzCon next year, and and the biggest one since last year. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be like so much fun, and it was great last year. We had an absolute blast.
It is a blast, and apart from the WoW stuff, because there is gonna be loads of WoW stuff. Gamescom is really fun. Great vibes. Cologne is a great city.
It really is, I'm really looking forward to that.
To top it off, you're going to have loads of people who love playing video games in the same place all at once. Hopefully loads of WoW players that you can connect with. With Blizz doing community events, it suggests that they're expecting an audience of like just, people who are there for the game specifically. So I think there's going to be a really good vibe there. And I think they're really working hard to make that happen. So have fun. It's going to be good.
Yeah. What if I go like this? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Hey, that's nice.
Yeah.
That thing's on my face, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We can do something about that.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, there we go. What do you think about that?
That's nice. Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks, babe.
A bit more elegant.
Yeah, I like it.
There we are. Patrice, no Draenei Demon Hunter for the same reason as no Tauren Rogue. The fact is, they lack the lithe, agility, and lean stealth physique to function as they need to. Well, Patrice, I've got news for you, and you might want to sit down for a second, mate, because I'm about to blow your mind. But we do, in fact, have Tauren Rogues. That is a thing that happened. And, if that's your criteria, if that's your yardstick, if that is your line in the sand, well, that line in the sand's been well and truly busted, matey, and we've got them. They're there with bells on. So, yeah, I guess that means Draenei Demon Hunters, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what do you mean they lack the lithe agility? I feel like female Draenei are the lithest, sexiest things alive, and male Draenei are just...
They're so strong.
Oh, they are strong.
They're strong.
I
play them.
Thanks for the super chat, Patrice, but I gotta disagree with you on that one. Chris, I've been way too busy to play. Thank you guys for keeping me up to date. Chris, my pleasure.
Aww.
Thank you for being here. And Patrice, again, that was supposed to be a shouldn't be Demon Hunters, not can't.
Oh,
fair.
Okay.
Fair. You foresaw our reaction. You foresaw our answer. You came back. You sorted it. I bow to your foresight there, friend. Yeah. And Willow Night Song, you're the best of the very best. Well, people have been very nice in our chat today.
Super kind.
Makes a change. I needed that as well because I just read the comments under our Wowhead article for the weekly reset because it's always fun.
I never go there. I literally never go there. But thank you guys. They're really lovely super chats. Lovely to chat. Yeah, thank you guys for indulging us today. We had a little bit of managed to get Restream going, which is good.
Oh yeah, we've had loads of stuff going wrong today. Haven't we? It's like the good old days.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still think it was a pretty good show. So we didn't talk about any data mining at all, which is a shame. But you know what? It was a pretty slow news week anyway. We talked about the Gamescom announcement, and I think it was a pretty good show, if a short one. And we'll be back properly with more news. I've got a feeling there's going to be a player housing announcement at some point. It's got to be. It's been so long. It's been so long since we had the blue post.
It has.
And I feel like they've got stuff they want to tell us, especially with player housing stuff hitting the data mining now as well.
Oh, well, maybe we should mention that.
Okay, maybe you should.
Okay. Oh, because this also I
don't know what I'm talking about here. This is all you.
This was going to tie into Midnight as well. So one thing worth mentioning is that our first player housing assets have been datamined. And I don't mean just pictures of tables and chairs. I mean like actual 3D assets are on the files. They have been datamined. People have found them. They found what they're called, what they look like. There are like chairs, there are bookcases. There's a cage. There's a Nightborn cage.
Love cages.
To put whatever you want in. And so
wait, can you put whatever you want in?
I don't know, but we have yet to find out. There are a couple of like mounted spiky dragon heads. Really exciting to see those. Now, having seen those coming out now, some people are of the opinion that perhaps seeing these assets now out in the wild means that there will be some kind of midnight pre-purchase player housing bundle / access.
I would bet my life on that.
You really think that's happening?
I would bet my mortgage on that.
Oh.
I would bet everything I have on that. Not necessarily that those assets are going to be part of it, but that there will be some kind of pre-purchase early access to player housing. That would be, if I had to make one single prediction about the midnight announcement, it would be that they would announce that early access to housing is coming with pre-purchase.
That feels
It makes perfect sense, and that's just going to happen. I would. Do you know what? I would rather that than early access to the expansion. Like. Early access to War Within sucked ass.
Yeah,
it was shit.
That sucked.
It was bad.
That was bad. That
didn't
made
like
lots
it.
of people feel bad, my friends included. I'm like, no.
It did not benefit the game in any way. It was purely to make money.
It was just a money maker.
It damaged the game like quite a lot, and kind of damaged the.
It's funny to forget about that.
Yeah,
it sucked.
It damaged the launch of the War Within.
Mm-hmm.
If early access to player housing is instead of early access to like the midnight expansion, I would actually be 100% in favor of it. Because it's something that doesn't damage the game. If they do both, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But like seriously, if it means they don't do early access to the game, I'd be more than happy with having early access to player housing.
Okay.
Another thing is that I'm pretty sure there will be game stations at Gamescom where people can play player housing, like I did at the summit, right? It seems like the thing that you would play, right?
Yeah. So that all those files being out there now suggests that something like that is going to happen. That there's going to be some kind of access to player housing tied to midnight, tied to the pre-purchase, and possibly testable at Gamescom, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
I also hope that pre-purchasing midnight gives me 1 million tenders. Because, oh my God, that's another thing that's been data mined. Loads of cool shit.
Yeah, but that's shit that's spread out over months. It's not all going to be 1 month.
No, I can already tell. I can already see where it's going because the trading post has been getting better and better. Nice. More and more stuff. And the combination has really depleted my tendies. I'm down to like 200. It's really bad. And there's some really good things.
I did splurge this month. So I had a few saved up, and I did kind of like, people speculating in the chat that maybe pre-purchase will give you like premium housing kits and stuff like that. I don't think pre-purchase will, but I think buying like the collector's edition or like the legendary edition or whatever, will almost certainly involve some player housing items, some exclusive player housing items.
I feel like it must because player housing stuff will be on the shop for money.
Oh. I mean, they've already said that it will.
Yeah, and that's something we all just need to accept.
They will be highly stylized things as well. It will be like, get your Kultiran Christmas party items here, right? And there'll be sets like that, and they'll sell them in very thematic sets like that in ways that, it's your Naga Harvest Festival like set, and it's like, but it will be shit like that like isn't like obvious stuff to be in the game.
It's not just going to be like, here's a Nightborn chair, right? Because people are like, no, I need to be able to access that, right? And so, it's up to them to figure out where that line is.
There's going to be loads of housing stuff on the shop. There's going to be loads of housing stuff in the trading post because it's just like a no-brainer, right?
Yes.
But that's, but I don't think that's going to negatively impact the stuff that is in the game. Just like I don't think that the mount store negatively impacts the mounts that are in the game. I don't really know if those mounts just wouldn't exist if they weren't on the store. I don't think it's like they take them out of the game and put them on the store. But I don't know, man. Like I'm fine with that. I'd rather they sell. I mean, player housing stuff seems like the kind of thing you'd expect on the shop, right? Really, I don't know. Look, I like WoW. I want WoW to do well. I want WoW to make money. I want to be able to play WoW. You know, would I prefer it if like the games industry wasn't like it is? I mean, yeah, but I don't even see WoW as a video game, honestly. I see WoW as like a straight up hobby. I have like multiple hobbies, and like video games and WoW are like almost two separate hobbies.
They're completely different things, isn't it?
Like they are both my hobbies, but they're different hobbies in a way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you completely. It's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the way I feel about it. I know like lots of people find that attitude a bit and that stance a bit like sickening probably to their core. And I get that, right? But like the standards I apply to the gaming industry as a whole and the things I'd like to see change about the gaming industry as a whole, which I'm very passionate about.
Yes.
I don't necessarily apply to WoW.
Oh, you do though. Yes, you do.
Not necessarily. I mean, things like I want the people who make the game
like
to have more power and to have unions and to be paid well and treated well. Yeah, that goes without saying, right? Because that's just that's my personal.
You just said something that
that's my personal ethical beliefs, right? Yeah, but like when it comes to I want to see no microtransactions in video games. I don't necessarily think that's the case when it comes to WoW. I kind of think it's okay because of the WoW token and the way it works and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I think it's quite. The WoW token is very consumer friendly. It means you can buy everything from the shop with in-game gold. I think that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah. I mean, WoW is such like a curious beast where it's like it really is a lifestyle for a lot of people. It really is more than a game in a lot of ways, which has it has implications on all of that stuff. When can I buy Trader's Tender?
Never.
I'm just really.
They said never.
God.
You'll get some with your pre-purchase. You'll get some with your legendary midnight pre-purchase.
1 million attendees.
Probably a couple of thousand. 1,000 maybe. What did they do for the war within? 1,500? Yeah, you'll get some. You'll get some with your midnight pre-purchase.
I'll get some.
The legendary one, of which we'll have loads, and then we'll probably end up with just like loads of box sets everywhere as well. Like we did this. Yeah. I hope so. I love that shit. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Anyway. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about on this episode?
No, I think that links back to Gamescom. Wanted to talk about player housing quickly, some of the data mining. Okay, we touched on some of this stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. The rest we can talk about in the weekly.
I'm really, really hoping there's going to be a player housing post today, just for my own personal enjoyment, honestly. But now I guess it's time for me to go back onto this 11.2 spoilers video. Can't wait.
Get to it, baby.
I'm so glad that I feel like we're at a stage where we need to start discussing this and talking about this, honestly.
I think we're ready.
So yeah, I think the community is ready. As long as it's clearly marked with spoilers and stuff, I think we can do that. And because there's so much to talk about, like the whole thing that the image from the Gamescom thing. It was so good. Okay. Anyway,
need to do some enhancing.
Thank you to everyone that joined us today for this conversation. Thank you to your patience for any problems that we had as well. It is much appreciated. Thank you to Guzzy the Goose with one last honk at the end there in the super chats. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who watched live on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who watched live on Twitch. We'll try and sort out the dual streaming thing to make it work properly. Now we've got it all set up.
Yeah, I think we've sussed it. Yeah. Now it's just my mic again.
Thank you to everyone who is listening on your chosen podcast platform to this. And thank you to everyone who's watching the recording on our YouTube channel after the event as well. We will see you for, hopefully got a video coming out tomorrow. The tier sets ranked video, which is always one of our favorites every patch cycle. It's all recorded, it's all edited. Just waiting for approval on it. And we will launch that. We got the weekly reset this weekend.
I might jump on a stream actually this evening. I might test out one of my little late night Evie streams. Do some leveling my arcane mage or something.
Nice, cozy. Okay. Join us for the weekly reset and hopefully have the 10.2, 11.2 spoilers video out on Monday as well. Because it's a busy time. I love the time in the build up to an expansion announcement. It is probably my favorite time to be a WoW creator because it's just so much fun. It's like the few weeks before like the sporting season starts, if you're a sports fan and you're like, anything is possible, like anything could happen, the world is at your feet and it's like Schrodinger's expansion. It's simultaneously everything that you ever wanted from every and also not.
The best of times and the worst of times.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to everyone who subbed to us on Twitch while we were streaming this as well. We saw them all come in. Obviously we can't mention them when we're doing the podcast because that would be horrible for anyone who listens to the podcast later, but thank you. We do appreciate it. We do see it come through. Thank you. I guess you'll see people on Twitch later on tonight then.
Yeah, see you then once the baby decides to go to sleep.
Yeah,
and I get myself a bottle of wine.
Get us a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Yay, can't wait. Okay, we've got The Bear to watch tonight as well, though. Don't forget. Got to start The Bear.
Okay.
From me, Taliesin.
And me, Avatel.
Until next time, cheerio!